I'm Miss Haley with the Huntsville-Madison County Public Library, and today I'm going to show you guys how to fold an origami star. So for this craft, I've actually folded two samples. I wanted you to see the difference. One is done with a heavier weight scrapbook paper, a thicker cardstock sort of weight, and then this one is done with scrapbook paper that's thinner. It's a little closer to regular paper. It's also a little closer to origami paper. So that's what those two look like. That's the difference between the two, if you can see. And for this craft, I actually prefer the thicker cardstock. Normally, when I am doing origami, I prefer thinner, more regular paper weight. It's a little closer if you're using scrapbook paper instead of origami paper. It's a little closer to the weight of origami paper, and it folds a little cleaner because there's not as much thickness to it. You can get cleaner folds. But for this one, I really prefer the thicker cardstock weight scrapbook paper because you can get, well, less good folds. Your folds are not going to be as refined, they're not going to be as thin, and it's going to poke out a little bit. And I think that adds some really good dimension to this craft. So since this is a 3D craft, I really prefer the thicker cardstock, which is what we're going to use today. So I'm going to set these aside. What you will need for this craft is a pair of scissors and a pen. That is for cutting out and tracing our template onto the cardstock. We'll be using a template today. I do not have a copy of this template available for you. If you just really need some help and want to email summerreading@hmcpl.org, I can send you this template. But you can very easily make it for yourself in Microsoft Word. And I've actually written my directions on here because I'm really bad about remembering how to do this. I've had this template for a while, and I can't really show you on my computer right now, unfortunately. So in Microsoft Word, what you want to do is you'll set a new document up, go to Insert, and then go to Shapes. And you're going to choose the shape called Regular Pentagon. You'll just look on there for the shape that is a pentagon. A pentagon has 5 sides, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is pentagon. And you'll select regular pentagon, and then you'll set the height and width to that to 7.5. Now you can do smaller. You just want the dimension on the height and width to be the same. So if you want a 5-inch pentagon, that's fine. You just do 5 and 5. You just want those two measurements to be the same. Then you're going to print it out on cardstock and cut it out. It doesn't have to be cardstock. You could use regular printer paper for that. You'll just have to be a little bit more careful when you're tracing it. So then you will also need some scrapbook paper. I'm using cardstock weight scrapbook paper. I think I got this on Amazon. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I got this on Amazon. So I chose this with the little like pluses and the pretty background color. So that's the paper I'm going to be using today. It came from this pack, Simple Stories pack that I got on Amazon. If you want the exact same pack, that's what you're looking for. And you can usually see in the product description what the weight of the paper is if you want to make sure you get the thicker cardstock type. So that's what we're using today. And to start out with, we are going to trace our template. So we're going to take our template, we're going to line it up. I like to line up the bottom edge with the edge of the paper just because that's one more straight line I don't have to cut. And we're going to line it up in the corner. So this point is lined up right on the edge of the paper. I always shift it to a corner of the paper rather than doing it in the center. You can do it in the center, but you waste all the paper around it if you do that. And so if you line it up and you trace it into the corner of your paper, you have all this paper left over that you can use for another project. And so I always try to make sure that I'm not wasting scrapbook paper. So you're going to trace your template. Make sure you're just holding it down. If it moves though, just pick it up, line it back up with your lines. Not the end of the world. And trace. So we're going to trace it on there. You can set that aside and we're going to cut that out. Oops. Slid my scissors right under my table covering there. So cut your pentagon shape out. Oops. And you don't really have to worry if you accidentally leave a little bit of the tracing line on your paper. If you look at mine, you can see there's some tracing line there still. That's okay. It's going to get folded in. Worst case scenario, you might see a little bit on the back of your star, but that's the back of your star, so it doesn't matter. And we'll set that aside. I don't need that right now. So, to start out with, you are going to start with your pentagon so that the flat side is facing you and a point is facing up. And you're going to start folding it in half. You're going to fold it in half 5 times because basically what you want is a line coming down from each of the points. So there's 5 points. We want a line coming down from each of them. So I'm just going to start here. I like to move clockwise when I'm doing this. I'm going to line up my edge right here. And if I cut it well, it'll line up perfectly. If you're a little off, don't worry about it, you guys. It will be okay. You will still get a star, and it will still look really cool. This one was super off when I folded it, and it still looks awesome. So you're going to fold that down. If you need to, you can use your fingernail to make a thicker fold. I do like to have really firm folds with this just because I am using a thick cardstock especially. I go over that fold a couple times. So now you can see I have a fold line coming down from that point, and we need one coming down from all of our points. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to turn clockwise and fold it in half again. And as usual, I always like to go to the center and then fold out. You guys can tell that's not a perfect fold. You can definitely see some white right there on that fold. That's okay. So I'm going to use, I have this Sharpie here. I'm just going to use that too. I don't have any fingernails right now. And then I'm going to turn it clockwise, fold it in half again. As you start folding this, especially if you're using thicker cardstock, the fold lines, the crease lines that you've made are going to start fighting you. You can see how mine is puckering there and it's trying to fold in on that. Just ignore it as best you can and just make sure you're not letting that mess up your fold line. Okay, turn. I should have 2 more to do. Line up my edge like that and fold. Definitely going to press that one down. That one doesn't feel very secure. And I'm going to turn what should be my last one. Fold in half again. Ooh, that one's really fighting me. There we go. So again, they don't have to be perfect. It will still fold into a respectable looking star when you're done. So now that you've got this, you'll know you're done if you have a crease line like that coming down from every single one of your points, which I do. You're going to arrange it in front of you again the same way so that the flat side is point facing you and a point is facing up. And this time we're going to fold this line upwards. So what we're going to do, you have these 2 points here, so your left and right points, and you have your left and right bottom points. So we want to fold our bottom points up till they meet the line coming down from our top points. So we're not folding them up to the point. It's literally impossible. You can't do that on this shape. But we are going to fold these 2 points up to this line that comes from those. So find the line that's coming down from the points, and we're going to fold these 2 bottom points up to it. So we're going to fold it up. You don't fold until you make sure you have both of your points lined up. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with something wonky. And I'm going to hold this closer to you guys so that you can see how these 2 points are touching that fold line. So you want to make sure it's right, because you see how that one's off now? That one's touching, but that one's not. So make sure you have it so that both of them are touching before you crease. So once you have both touching, go ahead and crease that and unfold, turn, and do it again. You're going to do this for all of the edges. So again, folding up until the points meet that fold line, crease, unfold, turn, fold up until those two bottom points meet your fold line. From here, you really have to pay attention once you start doing this, that you're going to the one that is coming from the corners and not one of these other ones, because you're going to start getting some other lines in there once you start creasing a lot. And so just make sure you're always double checking that you're folding up to the right spot. We are about to have a lot of lines on this pentagon, you guys, and you don't want to mess them up. Should be, I think, my last one. If you lose track of where you are, just go ahead and turn, and if it folds easily, you'll know, oh, okay, I already did that one. We're good. So for this next step, it's a little complicated, but you're going to fold whichever side. Again, always keep it so that a flat side is facing you and a point is facing up. So you're going to take your left-hand side, whatever side happens to be to the left of you. You're going to do this 5 times again. Are you sensing a pattern? But you're going to fold that over, and then you're going to fold this one up. But as you fold this bottom flap up, you want it, again, on that same fold line we already created. You're going to pull this corner out so that you're folding up like that. And you have to watch it. It wants to do weird things down here. Did you see how that was trying to do it? So you're going to, again, fold this one left in. And as you fold the bottom one out, pull this corner out. And like that. And then you're going to press it down. So you should have that shape. You're going to press it down right along here because you're creating a fold on the inside. You can't see the crease you're creating there, but that's where you're creating it. So you should have this shape when you've successfully folded it, and the crease we're making is that guy right there. So once you've done that, unfold, turn, and repeat. So fold the left side in, fold the top side up while pulling that corner out. Watch this right here. You guys can see how that's trying to buckle in. Just don't let it do that. You don't want to create a weird secondary fold line. So just make sure you smooth that out before you crease right here. And then crease, unfold, turn, fold the left side in, fold the bottom side up while pulling that corner out. The more you get used to that fold, the easier it gets. The last couple of folds are probably going to be easier than that first one was. Turn, fold left side, fold bottom while pulling. Make sure that doesn't pucker. That down there, it wants to have like a weird little crease there, and we don't want that. It probably wouldn't be the end of the world, but still. And this should be my last side. So again, I unfolded, I turned, fold my left side in, fold my bottom side up while pulling that corner out like that. Again, that is the shape you're going for when you're done. Unfold. And again, if you've lost track, just do that fold. Again, that was super easy for me to do. I didn't actually have to fold it, so I know I've gone all the way around. At this point, you should have a really creased looking pentagon. It's not looking too hot anymore. So this is the point where we're going to collapse it in on itself into a star shape. It's not going to be the final star shape. There's one more fold we have to do, but these are actually really easy folds to do once you know how, but they can be very frustrating to figure out how to do it. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to pinch 2 corners so that you have only one corner between them. And you're going to start pinching them in. The others should follow. So it's pinching in, if you guys can see that. You're going to fold this corner down. They're all going to fold in the same direction. This corner is going to go down. That corner is going to go down. Then you're going to come up here, and you're going to kind of force this one to fold down. And then you're going to pull this last one, which isn't wanting to cooperate, down so that it collapses into this shape. And this is the back side of our star here. That's going to be the front eventually. But I'm going to show you that one more time. And just, if you're having trouble with this, just practice until you get it. Pinch 2 corners in your fingers. Collapse it in like that. They should all be going around the same direction. And you collapse so that you have this shape. So just practice that. Go back, rewatch it. It might take you a couple tries. That is okay. It's a very easy fold. It wants to fold that direction. You shouldn't really have to force it too much, except maybe that very last one. But even that, you're not really forcing it. You're just kind of gently encouraging it to go the direction you want to. But you'll wind up with this shape. This is the back side. You guys can see that same pentagon pattern on the back of this star that I finished. But you could stop here. This is a pretty cool shape. It kind of looks like a shuriken or something. But to actually get the star shape, what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over so that the white, that little white spot is down. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold these points. So there's like this little point here there's a little pentagon shape in the center of this, and you're going to fold these points into the center point. So that is going to look like, I don't unfortunately think I can do that while I'm holding it up, but it's going to look like that, and you're going to crease it along there. So fold it there, crease it along. If you can keep it so that you're folding this part directly in half, that's good. If you can't, that's fine. If it goes a little over or a little less, that is okay. You'll still get a star shape. So you're going to fold that first one. And again, that's taking this point to the center spot. So we're going to fold that there. And then crease along there. Then you're going to turn it. You're going to do the same thing with the next one. So you're going to take it to the center point and then crease. Like that. Turn it, do the next point. So this point comes to the center like that. And then you're going to crease up. I'm going to lay it flat so I can get a good crease there. So turn, next point to the center. Whoop, that's a little far. Crease. And then you should have one more left. It's tucked in. So once you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, your last one you're going to have to kind of work for. So the point is tucked kind of into this fold, the first one we made. So you might have to just pull that up a little bit, but you're going to come and you're going to take that point, and this one you might have to work for, to that center spot. And you're going to crease it up to right there. It's not quite a perfect point on mine because I'm folding wonky. And then you fold that down. And then just extra crease that. And you will have a star. Good job, you guys. I hope you had fun making this star. One fun thing that you can do with this, you can actually really easily hang these up. You can add just a string, just a little hot glue back here, and add a loop of string, and you can hang them. You can also, if you want, you can just add tape to the back here, double stick tape or a loop of tape. You could also add hot glue, and you can glue them down to something and just make a pattern with them. There's a lot of fun things you can use these for to decorate with. Or you can just set them there however you want. But I hope you guys had fun making our origami stars with me today, and I hope you join me again soon for another fun craft. Thank you, guys.